here. Why don't you talk to his father?
I'm working. Can you please go sit in your car? You have nothing to do with this.
His father.
I understand.
I'm an attorney because he's a minor. You need to tell me. Is he going to be here?
I don't need to tell you anything. I'm going to arrest you in a second if you don't get in your car. Do you understand me? I'm not kidding you.
You are kidding.
You are impeding an investigation right now, and you're really bothering me. Go sit in your car.
I
will talk to him in a minute. Get in your car now.
Tell him. Take it. No, you do not touch me. Oh my God. Oh
you are not involved.
I'm a good Samaritan.
We instructed you to do something, and you refused to do it.
I'm a good Samaritan who stopped to help a kid, and maybe what happened. Okay.
I heard you guys say one in custody. I'm like, oh, here we go.
It never ceases to fascinate me how a group of people can look at the exact same video and come away with a completely different idea about what they just saw. This is an example right here. I saw this a couple days ago on the Law and Crime Network, and then just today, the civil rights lawyer uploaded a video dealing with this exact situation right here. There's a lady named Claire Hall. She's a lawyer in Rhode Island. She pulls over at a wreck where this 17-year-old is involved. His dad's car was the vehicle that he was driving. Looks like he had like a minor to severe head injury, possibly. The cops were going to have him drive away, but she was concerned and had this boy's father on the phone saying, hey, it'd probably be a good idea if you transport him. If you're going to transport him, let his father know where he's going to be transported. So in her mind, she was acting as a good Samaritan. Now, about the two audience deal, when you look under this video, the law and crime video, the audience predominantly is for law enforcement and against this lawyer who they call a Karen. And I got to admit, she is a little Karen-esque. I mean, she looks like somebody who would easily get on your nerves. But the question is, did she commit a crime? Did she do something wrong? Did she do something worthy of the cops going hands-on? On the other scale, you have the audience that, listens to and tunes into the civil rights lawyer and probably other First Amendment auditors and is sympathetic toward the Karen lawyer and is decidedly against law enforcement. But I wanted to read you some of the comments under both videos. First, we're going to start with the Law and Crime Network because this gives you an idea. See, to me, it's not so much society is not so much in trouble because we have a few psychopaths who want to rule us. And by psychopaths, I mean somebody who actually believes they have a higher claim over your life and property than you to the point where they feel justified in going hands-on if you disobey their commands. And that's what happened here. They admit the reason that they are going hands-on, the reason they took her to the ground, the reason they put the torture cuffs on her, the reason that they took her against her will and put her in the back of the cop car is because she wasn't complying with their orders. So here's what the audience for Law and Crime Network, some of them said. I wish I could find the absolute most popular, but this one right here has 360 thumbs up. This is a perfect example of a woman with a victim complex mixed with a superiority issue. She has to get a win. I feel terrible for her husband if she has one. And apparently she does have one because they both filed a civil rights lawsuit against this Rhode Island Police Department. This right here says she was either on meds or didn't take them that day. This is not normal behavior. All right, well, that's an opinion, but does that warrant the cops putting their hands on you and actually, basically they are much stronger. Even the skinniest cop, I'm sure, is much stronger than this Karen lawyer. Did they really have to do that? Couldn't they have been more understanding? Couldn't they? She was in the process of giving the phone to one of the cops saying, here, talk to the dad. Let the dad know where his child's going to be transported, if he's going to be transported. I'm just a good Samaritan. I'm a go-between. Yes, I did insert myself into this situation and nobody asked for it, but did she really deserve to go to jail and be cuffed? The teenagers who got into the accident acted more mature and professional than she ever did. Yeah, I admit, she could have exercised a little bit more self-control, a little bit of tact. And yes, like the civil rights lawyer said, public opinion is pretty weighty. The court of public opinion matters a lot in these court cases. And if you know you're on body cam, you know you're being recorded, why don't you put your best foot forward? Because perception is everything. Whether you're wrong or right, you want to make sure that if this is ever presented to a jury and to a judge, you come off looking good. Because I admit, in this right here, on some level, the cops were being calm. Yeah, they started getting, increasingly more agitated at this woman. And then they did end up physically brutalizing her, in my opinion. But she didn't make herself look good, also, in my opinion. That's depressing, honestly. I hope the judge smiles and giggles reading over her lawsuit. Glad to know the PD didn't back down when she fought back. She wasn't fighting initially. They're the ones who went hands-on with her first. Not to mention her husband can't help her at all. Conflict of interest and bias, being married to another attorney and all. Thank God for body cams. Great job, officers. That woman is unstable. Stunned she's an attorney. Well, she might be the attorney that you want on the case because it looks like she gets passionately involved in things. So if you have a lawyer who's passionately involved in your case, you probably got a better chance of winning. Again, in my opinion. She literally has no control over emotions for no reason. This also jeopardizes genuine grievances against unlawful arrests. She's a nutter. Maybe she is. But back to the original question. Do her actions warrant taking away her liberties? More important than her being a lawyer is that she feels she's entitled to do what she wants. All right, so that was the law and crimes audience. Now here's the civil rights lawyers audience. This is the first comment. Or at least the first comment at this time. This is what happens when they give responsibility to young, power-driven tyrants. It's obvious that this wannabe public servant is on a power trip. This one right here says, how can you justify this arrest? Are you not allowed to resist an unlawful arrest? A lot of cops believe, quote, not listening is a felony. And that's what the cop said specifically. She said, why are you doing this to me? And he said, because you're not listening. So not listening is against the law. Not listening is a crime that justifies going hands-on and putting the torture cuffs on and throwing them there in the back of the car. Is there a law against not listening? This right here says arrested for contempt of cop. And I tend to agree. Now, could this woman have been a little bit more reasonable? Probably. Was she adding danger to the roadway by having her car be a part of this whole situation? I don't know, because she was sandwiched in between the cop cars in front and the last cop car in the back, which is the cop car that they put her in, which made her the most unsafe. Like, there's no barrier between the car that she was put in the back of and oncoming traffic. She could have been hit, just like that lady got hit when they decided to put her, I think it was in Colorado, when they decided to park her in the cop car on a railroad track, and then she got hit by a train. So yeah, I agree. She was arrested because of contempt of cop. And this says she must bow down to his supreme authority and kiss his feet, and she did not do that. So the little bit of sarcasm here, but you see where the audience is going for the civil rights lawyer. They're going in the opposite direction as the law and crime audience. So what's the truth here? Isn't it somewhere in between? Is it really right to put your hands on a woman who's just out there trying to be a good Samaritan, trying to stand in the gap for this kid and his father, in concern that he might have some kind of severe to moderate head trauma where he can't drive his vehicle, but the cops are going to let him drive, is the story? This is why qualified immunity needs to go. If officers got sued thousands of dollars regularly, they would quickly straighten up. I agree. They would be more apt to listen, more apt to be understanding, less apt to escalate the situation. Stop talking. How dare you use your First Amendment? And that's really what they're saying. When they tell you you need to stop talking, they're infringing on your First Amendment. When they tell you you need to talk and you need to give your idea and you need to divulge this information, they're basically saying we're about to take away your Fifth Amendment right to be silent. Incompetence has no bounds. End qualified immunity ASAP. The officers were wrong and should go find a different line of work. Patience is a must for a police officer. The cop's aggressive behavior was the direct and exclusive cause for the woman's reaction. If there was a mature, smart cop in the situation, the whole thing would have never have happened. And I agree with that. And I also agree that this woman was a Karen. Could she have handled it better? Yes. But, you know, it's easy to armchair quarterback this kind of stuff when you weren't there. You know, tempers flare. The adrenaline is pumping. You say things that you probably shouldn't have said in a way you probably shouldn't have said them. You know, same on the cops thing. But, the cop, that's his profession, is to be there to minimize escalation, to calm people down. Tell you what, ma'am, I really appreciate you pulling over and acting as an intermediary between this kid and, going to bat for his father. I know if I was a father, I'd want you on my side. This is awesome. This is great. But hang tight. Give me some time to figure out what's going on, and I'll get with his father. That's all he had to say. But he didn't say, get back in your car. We said, move your car, get off the scene. Horrible stuff. So I wanted to do this video because it is kind of a psychological experiment that we see on body cam, where you can have two different audiences looking at the same exact thing that you and I see. And I'll leave the link to Civil Rights Lawyers video and Law and Crime Network's video, and you tell the world what you think about this, because I think it's absolutely fascinating, and we probably should get on the same page with regard to how much can you exercise your rights? When is it wrong to exercise your rights? When you're exercising your rights, should you actually be arrested? Shouldn't there be a crime? Shouldn't there be probable cause, or at least reasonable articulable suspicion that a crime has been or maybe is about to be committed? Was this lady jeopardizing somebody's life by being where she was? Couldn't the situation have been handled in a different way? So leave your thoughts about this, because I really want to know what you guys think. Do you think that this woman acted like a Karen? Do you think that she was a little bit out of line? Do you think her actions warranted the actions of the officer by placing her in the torture cuffs? Do you think the cops could have handled the situation a little bit differently? If you were the father, would you have wanted this lady on the scene so that she could go to bat for your son? A whole lot of questions. Come up with questions I didn't come up with. Maybe come up with some answers that we haven't heard yet. And I look forward to reading the comments in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification icon. Give it a thumbs up. Share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, you can grab a hard-hitting conversation starting design. You can put on a shirt, hoodie, mug, cell phone case, whatever. Become a channel member. But most importantly, remember to go to bat for your freedoms. When you are championing the cause of your freedoms, you're actually going to bat for my freedoms. This is an American thing. This is a human thing. And it's never wrong to do that which is right. I will see you in the next video.